Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm so short.
That's what's the roll call. Alderman Vocart. Alderman Ramscott.
Here.
Alderman Colbert.
Here.
Alderman Bell.
Here.
Alderman Wilson. Absent. And Alderman Lewis.
Here.
All right. Can I get a motion of approval of May 7th, 2024 meeting minutes, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to special items, we have none. Appointments and boards to commissions, appointment of Brant Hutchinson to Park and Rec Board. Staff report, please.
We have not been able to get a hold of him.
You
We've
haven't?
left multiple voicemails at this point.
Uh-oh.
Left him to hold until we hear from him. We made one last push Friday when we pushed the agenda out, and I think James followed up with him again today, and I've not heard back.
That's what I know.
Yeah,
Maybe out of town. Of course, he can still answer his phone.
yeah. I spoke to him via message last night or today.
Well, he's ducking us then.
I'll find out. Do you want to table it until then?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. We've got an application from him for park board.
Next meeting is not until 2 weeks.
So I mean, you've got time to make appointments
Yeah, we can appoint it, no, we can make it
before the next park board meeting, so.
So let's, can I get a table, motion to table the appointment of Board of Parking Board, Brant Hutchinson? Can I get a motion to table it?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Ramscott?
Yes, hey,
Yep,
yeah.
yeah. Alderman Colbert?
I'm reading.
Alderman Bell?
Aye.
And Alderman Lewis?
Aye.
All right, we'll table that, thank you. Public comments, we have none. Just a reminder that all public comments need to be into the clerk by Wednesday before the meeting date. Public hearing, we have none. Moving on, introductions, first reading. Council Bill number 2024-13 is ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an animal control enforcement cooperative agreement.
This is our annual renewal for our animal control agreement with Boone County. Our hourly rate is going up from $46.84 to $56.59 due to the increases in their personnel costs. We're averaging about $3,000 to $4,000 a year on animal control services. This is obviously dependent on number of calls. On average, we're having about 40 calls a year, just for reference, at least over the last 4 years.
40 calls a year. Is that based on the hour? That,
Yeah.
that's great.
So we do an hourly billable, so we're averaging anywhere from 60 to 75 hours a year, depending on the year.
Any questions for staff? All right. Can I get a motion to approve Council Bill number 202413, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an animal control enforcement co-op?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Lewis?
Aye.
Alderman Bell?
Aye.
Alderman Colbert?
Aye.
And Alderman Ramscott?
Aye.
All right. Council Bill number 2024-14, an ordinance extending the corporate limits of the city of Ashland, Missouri by annexing unincorporated area, directing the city clerk to give notice of annexation, Southern Boone School District. Staff report, please.
All right, as you may recall, this is the last meeting, that was the public hearing for the annexation, and this is the first read of the annexation, and this is for the high school, and it's 2 parcels, that one is 1.82 acres, and the south parcel is approximately 7.25 acres. They will be combined and absorbed into the high school, the existing high school parcel, making it 43.24 acres total once it's annexed, and they're all combined and consolidated. And staff finds that this proposed voluntary annexation is necessary and reasonable for the development of the city. So,
Any questions for staff? All right, can I get a motion approving Council Bill number 2024-14, an ordinance extending the corporate limits of the city of Ashland, Missouri by annexing unincorporated area directed by city clerk to give notice of annexation, Southern Boone School District. Have a second?
Second.
Alderwoman Ravencraft,
Aye.
Alderman Colbert,
Aye.
and Alderman Bell,
Aye.
Alderman Lewis.
Aye.
Council Bill number 2024-15, an ordinance approving Southern Boone School District subdivision plat 2.
okay, so this is a request by Southern Boone Schools for a replat for the Southern Boone High School. Just mentioned as the annexation, the submitting firm for this is Crockett Engineering Consultants. And again, these are the two parcels just mentioned that would be replatted, consolidating the two parcels, which are combined 9.06 acres. And once they're consolidated with the existing high school parcel, it would be 43.24 acres. Staff recommends approval of the requested replat. Expansion of the high school is necessary with the continued growth of the Ashland community. And this was also recommended for approval by the Planning and Zoning Commission at the May 14th meeting.
All right, any questions for staff? Any concerns? No? Can I get a motion approving Council Bill number 2024-15, an ordinance approving Southern Boone School District subdivision plat 2? Can I have a second?
Second.
Alderwoman Ravencraft,
Aye.
Alderwoman Colbert.
Aye.
Alderman Bell,
Aye.
Alderman Lewis.
Aye.
All right. Moving on. Council Bill number 2024-16, an ordinance to change the zoning from A1 to R1 for Southern Boone School District. Staff report, please.
Okay, same parcels, and as part of the annexation, they come in as A1 and they need to be rezoned to R1 to match the existing parcel where the high school sits. And so as part of that, these would need to be rezoned to R1. So staff recommends approval of the rezoning, as the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval as well at the May 14th meeting.
Any questions for staff? All right, can we get a motion approving Council Bill number 2024-16, an ordinance authorizing the change of zoning from A1 to R1 for Southern Boone School District.
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Alderman Lewis.
Aye.
Alderman Bell.
Aye.
Alderwoman Colbert.
Aye.
Alderwoman Ravencraft.
Aye.
All right. Council Bill number 2024-17, an ordinance approving the conditional use permit for Southern Boone School District.
Okay, same parcels. As you can see, this is quite a process just to get a high school expanded.
Super thrilling.
This is how.
That's why
How
we have
government
an
works.
audience tonight.
Yes. So the conditional use is required because public schools, according to the current city code, section 9.145, does not basically allow any public schools in any districts, residential districts especially, but any districts. So they're required to have a conditional use, whatever district they go in. So it's gonna be R1 zoning, and so with that, it would need a conditional use permit, to have the school go on the property. Staff recommends approval of this conditional use, and I'll point out there was a typo in that. Anybody following along, it says staff recommends approval of the rezoning, but it should say conditional use. It got kind of monotonous for me. But however, to prevent this step being necessary in the future, the new code, according to table 9-7-1, will allow for elementary and secondary schools to be allowed in all zoning districts, including residential. And of course, this was recommended for approval by the Planning and Zoning Commission at the May 14th.
So our new zone we won't have to do all
We won't have to add a conditional use
use
on it.
permits.
Yes, it It would just be, once it's rezoned to R1 or R2 or R3, it's allowed. You don't need to finish building on that for this one.
Okay. Any questions for staff? All right, can I get a motion to approve Council Bill number 2024-17, an ordinance approving the conditional use permit for Southern Boone School District?
So moved.
Can I have a second, please? Alderwoman Ramscraft,
Aye.
Alderwoman Colbert.
Aye.
Alderwoman Bell,
Aye.
and Alderman Lewis.
Aye.
All right. Council Bill number 2024-18, an ordinance vacating a portion of the drainage easement of lot 116 Forest Park, plat number 1.
Mr. Mayor, members of the board, before you this evening is a request for authorization to vacate portions of existing drainage utility easements within, first one for lot 116 of Forest Park subdivision plat 1. These easements are no longer, at this point, they're too large. They're not needed for that area. This stems from the owner of, he was lot 117, right? Yeah. Mr. Casey Shutterly, in order to accommodate the installation of a swimming pool in his backyard, he agreed to and completed having the sewer line rerouted, therefore taking it out of the way to allow for the space needed for the pool. Staff worked with Mr. Shutterly, his engineering firm, ES&S, along with his contractor, to make sure that these improvements were completed appropriately, and we're confident that everything is in satisfactory condition, and the easement can therefore be vacated, allowing Mr. Shutterly to proceed with his pool construction.
He rerouted his lines and stuff.
He did, yes, sir. He actually added a manhole and several feet of sewer main, which allowed that to reroute and go around, basically opening up the usable area of his backyard so that he could then install the swimming pool. Attached with this document, or attached with this tonight, is some renderings submitted by ES&S that show what exact portions of the easement are being vacated. It's not the entire easement by any means. It's merely pushing it further off to the southwest to allow for the pool to be constructed and not be within an easement.
Any questions for staff? Can I get a motion approving Council Bill number 2024-18, an ordinance vacating a portion of drainage easement on lot 116 Forest Park, plat number 1?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Lewis.
Aye.
Alderman Bell.
Aye.
Alderman Colbert.
Aye.
And Alderman Ramscraft.
Aye.
Council Bill number 2024-19, an ordinance vacating a portion of a drainage easement on lot 117, plat 1. Are they the neighbors?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, members of the board, before you this evening is request for authorization to vacate portions of an existing drainage easement. This started because of, no, it's the same thing. It's the two adjacent lots.
So
Yeah.
you had to move his other one too?
He did. He had to move in order to make he's not encroaching on the property of his neighbor, but the realignment of the sewer line, and the installation of the new sewer manhole changed to where it will be unnecessary for the easement to stop at the property line and then remain as original. It would create it would kind of look like a little gerrymandered section of easement that really would serve no purpose. This cleans it up and makes it a straight line based off of the line of the center line of that sewer line.
So the other direction is not affected?
As far as
The line?
no, sir, it was a straight shot. It basically, if you imagine going from one point and pivoting and then just moving that line from here down, then there's, irregular shaped area that is no longer needs to be within easement.
Any questions for staff? Can I get a motion approving Council Bill number 2024-19, an ordinance vacating a portion of drainage easement on lot 117, Forest Park, plat number 1?
So moved.
Have a second.
I'll second.
Alderman Ramscraft,
Aye.
Alderman Covert?
Aye.
Alderman Bell?
Aye.
And Alderman Lewis?
Aye.
Council Bill number 2024-20, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a subdivision warranty agreement for Forest Park Plat 1.
As the board is well aware, we've been working with the developers of Forest Park subdivision for quite some time now to bring the infrastructure into accordance with existing city code. Recently in October of 2023, all the infrastructure for Forest Park Plat 2 was accepted, and the water and sewer infrastructure for Forest Park Plat 1 were accepted. There were several remaining issues that needed repair with the streets and stormwater portions of infrastructure. Working with the developer, the streets repairs have all been completed satisfactorily, and the majority of the stormwater repairs have been completed satisfactorily. It is my understanding, after some conversations with the city administrator on Friday, the purpose of this evening, there's a typo on my memo. We are moving to accept infrastructure, streets only of Forest Park Plat 1 this evening. With that, the stormwater infrastructure would remain privately held until the completion of the last handful of items. There are five deficiencies that need to be addressed. The developer is aware of those, has agreed to the continuation of the existing $25,000 bond to cover those repairs, and has also agreed that if those repairs are not completed in a timely manner, which I believe we said is October 31st of this year, but I don't see it in my memo, and I'll mention that. I'm sorry?
It's all right, yeah. October
Okay.
31st.
If they're not completed by October 31st of 2024, the city then would call the bond and utilize those funds to hire a third-party contractor to come in and complete said repairs. Once all the repairs are completed and all the infrastructure is up to code, we would then be able to initiate acceptance proceedings and warranty issuance for stormwater infrastructure of Forest Park Plat 1.
Any questions for staff?
One other item before it goes to vote. It has been requested by the developer that rather than the typical 3-year warranty period based on the length of time that this subdivision has been in use by the public, although it was not publicly accepted, he has requested that the city push back the warranty period for the streets and ultimately the stormwater when it is ready to be to coincide with the existing warranty period for the sewer and water infrastructure, which began in October of 2023. So it would save him, what are we looking at, probably 7 months of warranty period, something to that effect. I don't know what the appetite of the board would be for that, but I wanted to make sure to bring it up as it was requested by the developer.
So you're saying that he wants to push everything back so it coincides at the same time?
Yes, and there is some benefit to that as far as cleanliness of keeping everything in the same deadline. Typically, we do a 3-year warranty period for all infrastructure items on acceptance. So I just wanted to broach that subject and see what the board's opinions were.
Is there like a reason why it's taken so long that he's requesting this? Is it like on our part? that
No,
we're getting approval?
it's not. It's been on the developer side. I think that, it was a joint there was a partnership that dissolved during the construction of this development. And then along with several other projects that Mr. Powers has going on, I think he's just had a hard time splitting his time between his crew, or splitting time with his crew between various projects that he's working on.
So we're talking about 2 years, 5 months of warranty as opposed to 3, if I understand you correctly?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so he's cutting it down.
Yeah, he would save 7 months of warranty period, but it would provide the cleanliness of all of the infrastructure items being on the same timeline for warranty.
What advantage would there be to the city to do that?
Just ease of the warranties lining up. Not having to keep track of whether this one's still in warranty or that one for 7 months.
And there's certain, some of this repair has just recently been done.
Yes, sir. They've all been inspected repeatedly by myself and my staff.
My personal opinion is I want that to last another 3 years, not 2 years and 5 months.
Certainly. And as I mentioned, it was merely a request by the developer. I advised them that I would approach the board about it and gauge which way the wind was blowing. I think I'm starting to pick it up. So,
How do you feel? You got the same
I
page?
agree, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I agree with Rick.
mean, if it's not because of us or our lack of approval, I think he should see the 3-year warranty.
Even if it was our fault, I would say, I mean, quite frankly,
fair enough.
Definitely knows.
not insisting, but
Now, do we need to amend this because of the two separate incidents? Okay.
if it's not a deal breaker for the gentleman, and I gather. it's not.
I would assume not, as he still
Yeah. he's
really
on the
wants to
hook.
get this accepted and
Surely.
get that warranty period started.
And Jerry, do you mean amend this because of,
This,
There's, the
Not
ordinance
doing
is correct.
the ordinance is correct about, that it's street only and not?
Yes.
Okay.
okay, that's what I was wondering. Yeah.
So the ordinance doesn't.
No. Okay. Can I get a motion to approve council bill number 2024-20, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a subdivision warranty agreement for Forest Park Plat 1.
I'll make that motion.
Can I have a second, please?
1 second.
Alderman Wheeler. Alderman Bell.
Aye.
Alderman Clifford.
Aye.
And Alderman Williams. Moving on to old business, a resolution 2024-32, a resolution authorizing the approval of NCL marketing agreement. It was tabled on 5/7. Staff report, please.
So I won't go through the whole report, it's the same report that we went over on the last meeting. But the request was to contact some of the other municipalities to find out what their feedback was. So I didn't get any negative feedback. Half of the municipalities either let them use their logo, the other half didn't. The only negative thing wasn't really from the residents, it was from staff saying that they were getting a bunch of phone calls asking if the city was the one promoting this. Because the ones that allowed them to use the logo, the mailer that they mailed out, made it look like the city was
Promoting it.
yeah, promoting this.
Selling the service. not
Yeah,
necessarily
selling-
promoting it, but
yeah.
Specifically selling the service.
But selling the service. So, several of the cities said the same thing. They allowed them to use their logo. They got a 10% fee off of the number of memberships or policies that were sold during that year. That check always came in January. They never had any complaints with anybody actually using the policy, that the company uses local vendors if there is an issue. And there's a mayor that uses it apparently quite frequently in her community. And has never had any issues with it. So I think it really just comes down to, Kyle and I were talking about it, we had some conversations with Doris. I think it really comes down to if the board wants them to use our logo or not. So if we do not want them to use our logo, then we're not passing this resolution, because the resolution is
Has
for
to be
them,
logo.
yes. And if they don't use our logo, I mean, we just, Kyle had asked for copies of any contracts that come with that, and nobody had any. They just said, we don't want them to use our logo. They mail out mailers twice a year to the community, and, you know, we never hear anything about it. But they don't get.
They don't get a 10%.
Yeah, they don't get any type of
Revenue for it.
revenue from it, so.
Mr. Lewis, how do you feel?
We've used something similar through Jeff City with my father-in-law's home. Had no problems with it. Sometimes there are a few hoops to jump through to get the services that have to use the ones they recommend. sometime, but, you know, I don't see any real negative about it, other than as long as we get the front staff educated is how to respond
They
to the
send
phone
out,
calls.
so they send out 2 mailings a year. And so the influx of phone calls come twice a year.
And this is an email that Nathan sent, who's been doing this for 35 years. I forwarded this to Doris. He said, I'd work with them, I would rate them as okay. Doesn't cost the city anything, it potentially could save customers if they had a break on their side of the meter. On the other hand, if customers are unhappy with them, they may blame the city for promoting them.
Yeah.
And that educational point is the key. There is a sense that the city is selling this insurance or, you know, affiliated with them, and we're not. We're just saying, you know, here it is. So, not a strong opinion for or against.
Well, it sounds like it's more of a burden on the staff, so like, after those conversations, I mean, I'm not gonna be answering the phones, it's y'all that are gonna be answering the phones, So, I mean, I would,
I'm acquainted with one of them that does, and, I think as long as they're aware that it's gonna be happening, and that they know what to tell them, that there shouldn't
Yes.
be any real problem with it.
I mean, I haven't really had any in-depth conversations with the ladies about it. You know, when we did this back in 2014, we had a lot of phone calls, but then just kind of ceased. But, I mean, our community is getting larger, and we get a lot of communication daily.
Yeah, we still get calls on, you know, asking if the barber shop is open today, so.
Or how do we contact the post office?
Can City Hall get more kids to work at Taco Bell? Why, sure. Be happy to do that for you.
Or I put my utility bill in the Dropbox for the library. Can you go over and get it?
my favorite, we used to get, a lot of calls at downtown, and they'd be like, can you look up this phone number? And I'm like, let me open the Google for you. And then, of course, you'd be like, here's the number, and they're like, hold on, I need to go get a piece of paper and a pen. And I'm like, you all right, well, okay, but so staff is okay with some extra phone calls?
Yes.
Okay.
It'd probably be accurate to say that we're indifferent to the proposal.
Okay.
So Raytown, Lexington, Wellsville, Pleasant Hill are cities that Laprilla represents that have taken the 10%, and they're not screaming bloody murder.
You have a question? All right, so can I get a motion to approve Resolution 2024-32, a resolution authorizing the approval of the NCL marketing agreement?
I'll make that motion.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Alderwoman Ravenscraft?
Aye.
Alderwoman Colbert?
Aye.
Alderman Bell?
Aye.
And Alderman Lewis?
Aye.
Ordinance number 1472, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an animal control enforcement co-op agreement.
Second reading.
Second reading, thank you, sir. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Alderwoman Lewis, or Alderman Lewis?
Aye.
Alderwoman Bell?
Aye.
Alderwoman Colbert?
Aye.
And Alderman Ravenscraft?
Aye.
Come on back. That's the first time. Ordinance number 1473, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a subdivision warranty agreement for Forest Park Plat 1.
Second reading.
Second reading. Can I get a motion to approve ordinance number 1473?
So moved.
Can I have a second? Alderwoman Ravenscraft?
Aye.
Alderwoman Colbert?
Aye.
Alderman Bell?
Aye.
And Alderman Lewis?
Aye.
Ordinance number 1474, an ordinance vacating portion of the drainage easement for lot 116. Second reading. Can I get a motion approving ordinance number 1474, and ordinance vacating the portion of drainage easement for lot 116?
Make the motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Alderwoman Ravenscraft?
Aye.
Alderwoman Colbert?
Aye.
Alderman Bell?
Aye.
And Alderman Lewis?
Aye.
Ordinance number 1475, an ordinance vacating portion of drainage easement for lot 117. Second reading.
Second.
Can I get a motion to approve ordinance number 1475, and ordinance vacating a portion of drainage easement for slot 117.
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Ravenscraft, Alderman Covert, Alderman Bell, and Alderman Lewis.
Aye.
All right. Moving on to new business, a resolution 2024-39, a resolution authorizing the Lakeview Estates lift station pump replacement.
Big surprise, we are ready to replace our first lift station pump of the fiscal year.
Because you have 20.
We have 38. 38. Recently, we had some issues at Lakeview Lift Station, that would be at the, just off the cul-de-sac of James Court. Discovered that neither of the pumps were functioning properly. I got in contact with Band of Honor Engineering. One pump that is 9 years old was able to be repaired, it just needed an impeller adjustment, and that was a $300 expense that I could not pay for quick enough. The other one, a 22-year-old pump, had, I won't say catastrophic damage, but it was repaired to the point that, it was damaged to the point that repair was not a feasible option. It had had some bearings go out that ultimately scored and caused some damage to the bearing housing. At the request, at the suggestion of Band of Honor Engineering to move towards replacement, we obtained a quote. Attached quote was for $11,461. New pump will have a 5-year prorated warranty. One of the interesting facets of this, excuse me, these pumps, this pump in particular, I think this is the second one that we purchased within the last several months, one that we had late in FY24. They are adjustable for their electrical input. And the reason that that is interesting, as we move towards regionalization of our wastewater system, we will be taking some lift stations offline. The ultimate goal of that regionalization is to drive down maintenance costs, reduce the number of lift stations that we have citywide. That being said, by purchasing these pumps that have an adjustable input rating for their electric power, allows them to be used in other lift stations. Now, I haven't gotten into the specifics of that to say, yes, this one can be used at this lift station and so on. I do know that Lakeview Lift Station, Justin Lift Station, and Setter's Knoll Lift Station currently all use identical pumps. So this one would automatically be able to be put in either of those other 2 lift stations in the event of a failure, should we get to that point. Lakeview is a lift station that we do anticipate being taken offline in the next several years, depending on how quickly we see development to the east side of Forest Park subdivision. As that eventually comes to fruition, we anticipate that the Southeast Regional Lift Station that was, excuse me, conceived through with Bartlett and West looking at a regionalization plan, may very well come to be a reality within the next several years, depending on that development. At that point, Lakeview, Setter's Knoll, I don't think East Side is ever going to really be a feasible candidate just based off of the volume that it services. But several lift stations that are on the eastern side of Highway 63 would be viable candidates to decommission. And at that point, we would then be able to take those pumps out of those lift stations, reutilize them elsewhere so long as they met the requirements. This pump would be one of those because it would be able to be repowered to increase flow levels. Excuse me. It's all really exciting stuff.
I thought you were gonna say since it can be regulated, you can like save energy or something.
So they do have some stuff like that, and where we're not up against the weather clock tonight, I would delve into it a little bit. But suffice it to say, the concept is that by purchasing this pump with that added capability, we anticipate being able to use it elsewhere within our collection system in the future.
Current radar intercept is 808. By the way.
30 minutes.
Not that I've checked.
Any questions for staff? Can I get a motion to approve resolution 2024-39, a resolution authorizing the Lakeview Estates lift station pump replacement?
moved.
And a second, please.
Second.
Alderman Lewis.
Aye.
Alderman Bell.
Aye.
Alderman Colbert.
Aye.
And Alderman Ravenscraft.
Aye.
All right. Moving on to reports, just a few things. I'm glad we discussed the easements behind those houses on Everglades.
Yes, sir.
Who's responsible for mowing all that?
Well,
That's not an easement, that's a lot, that's an outlot,
Well, behind those houses though,
it's an outlot owned by the developer,
so we need to get a hold of
it's
him
been mowed.
recently? Okay,
Yep.
all right, flagpole?
Being assembled this week.
yep, we anticipate installation either tomorrow or Thursday.
It's gonna rain tomorrow.
I told him to do it Thursday, but he said he wanted to do it tomorrow. We'll see what happens. One of those 2 days, that way, on Friday, when we put up all the flags for Memorial Day weekend, it will be included.
Cool, cool. And then also, just a little side note, we had the drawing for the pool pass for the Ashland, or Optimist Pool. We gave away 3 single passes and 1 family pass, an extra one this year. So we did something on top of what the Optimist normally does.
I didn't get my name, Joe.
You
No one
did?
called me.
You don't go to the pool? That's my report.
A big splash.
Yeah. City administrator report.
The only thing I have to report tonight is our summer intern is here, John Birch from Mizzou. He's a grad student in the MPA program, so he'll be here for the summer. We've got him assigned a couple policy projects to start working on over the next couple weeks. Eventually, he'll make his way to the podium to report on one of those once we get through policy development. But we've got him bouncing around this week with all the departments, getting some exposure across the board. Kind of go from there. If he knocks out these first 2 projects, we'll find some other ones for him.
City attorney's report.
On your all sign code, I was looking at the Fayette one as a substitute. Side note, Fayette now is, I think, our first city in the state with an entirely female board, so go Fayette. But anyway, you all have a land development code that is a very elaborate code. It has a 21-page sign code provision. It's very sophisticated, it's very elaborate. Rather than reinvent the wheel, I was just looking at it now. There are only 2 provisions that I think are a little bit troublesome. The provisions about removing signs are a little aggressive. I'd like you all to get a court order before you trap around somebody's property and take their sign. And there's a provision about election signs that need to be looked at. But in light of that, and I apologize not having that ready tonight, but I need to stop trying to change the Fayette code to fit Ashland. I just need to fix these 2 sections, and you'll have a very sophisticated, nice code. Critically, it does not bear upon the contents of the sign, which is the new rule. The drafters have addressed that. It has lots and lots of rules about dimensions and locations, and it really is defined by the use of the sign, but it doesn't, with very few exceptions. There's a provisions for garage sales, real estate, and elections that are a little troublesome, but this is one little segment of the 21 pages, so I'll have that ready for you at the next meeting.
Are you guys, do you have your eye on this chicken bill?
Which
that
bill?
passed? There's a bill that passed that like allows chickens in
Chickens,
backyards.
yeah.
Chicken coops are my cross to bear. I had a lengthy work session in a town that runs with New Franklin about chickens. Yes.
I think before I showed up here, it was goats, wasn't it
Mhm.
goats? I don't know what our ordinance say, and I read the bill summary, I haven't read the full bill. The governor hasn't signed it yet, obviously it's not, but I don't know if it says if you have, like, that, for whatever reason, we might need to revise the ordinances regarding chickens, I'm not sure.
It's a preemption bill, so we'll
Yeah.
have to strike something undoubtedly.
Okay. And-
Chickens are a big deal in all cities. It's a problem. Nobody seems to agree on how it should be done. How big the coop can be, where does the coop go in the yard? Is it 6 chickens or 32? No
The bill
roosters.
says it's 6.
Yeah,
But
6.
you only have to have like a 1/10 of an acre to have 6 chickens, or.
It's not about roosters. A rooster's allowed.
Our current ordinance allows 5 chickens, no roosters.
Okay.
Somebody needs to go tell my neighbor that. Because they're gonna be dead in there.
There's questions.
Well, yeah, some fried chicken.
No, I mean,
Strike that from the record, please don't.
Yeah, please don't put that in.
I kid you not, chickens will bring people to blows, though.
No, I get it,
I mean,
that's why, I mean.
Is it grandfather in? The
I think
coops,
the bill allows an exception for HOAs to regulate chickens, but I think it prohibits cities. I'm
and
not
because
sure.
the public may be listening, chickens are not emotional support animals. That's a thing that people say. So, I also, if we're going to the trouble of fiddling with it, because I've gone through this just recently, probably ought to set it as fowl because of ducks and other variants. No roosters for sure.
I think the bill specifically says chickens, but we can check. Anyway, are there any other bills that you were watching that might affect our ordinances?
So, other than the budget bills, there's only like 5 that are gonna pass.
Yeah.
Realistically. We have been much more concerned, as we've talked about on numerous occasions, the tax exemption bills, exempting groceries from sales tax, which is a fatal blow to any city. Those, quite frankly, is where our attention has been. There is also a bill, the Shalbina Mayor Bill, that allows anyone in a county to run for mayor in any city in that county. Very troublesome, but again, I don't think those are gonna pass.
Yeah, those are dead. Okay,
You bet.
thanks.
We'll, but the point here is I'll have an amendments to the proposed land development sign code. And I'll check on chicken for you.
Thanks.
Public Works.
Mr. Mayor, members of the board, I'm just gonna touch on a few high points. Staff's currently preparing for the FY 25 mill and overlay project that has been confirmed to be completed by, prior to the beginning of the fall school session. We were also currently working on the, getting the transportation master plan RFQ ready. We'll be publishing that soon. If you're not aware, we did receive $290,000 from Boone County through ARPA grant applications for stormwater projects. We're gonna utilize those funds. I'm meeting with all state consultants, engineers tomorrow, to get rolling on bid documents for phase 1 of the Oak Street project and design engineering on the Caspian project. That cash injection will certainly help expedite some much needed and overdue stormwater repairs. Tap sidewalks currently at review at MoDOT. The butterfly garden in honor of Sadie Robinette has been completed. I think there may be 1 or 2 little touch-up things, but it turned out very well. We'll be putting up the flags on Friday and doing a few other things, and then like BCRSD's office reports attached.
Thanks, sir. Any questions for staff? All right, moving on to community development.
I got a couple things I want to amend to my report that was included in your packet. And I apologize, I didn't pay attention to what page in the packet it was this time. O'Reilly's Auto Parts, I spoke with the superintendent today, and if anybody's wondering, if anybody's listening, they have a completion anticipated mid-June. Actually said June 14th, but I'm not gonna hold it to that. And then also mowing is an issue again. It's that season, so anybody listening, please mow your yards accordingly and any open lots that you have. Speaking of lots, there's an interesting situation with the old car wash owned by Mr. Charlie Clayton. Now, those of you that don't know, so he is a local legend. He's an Ashland resident for a long time, and also a business owner.
Okay.
And he claims he's not allowed by MoDOT to be on their right of way, which is the front part of the old car wash. And I wish more of you could understand this, but it is very humorous.
Yes, I do understand.
You understand it, yes. If you not, so I'm still trying to figure out what to do with that. I've reached out to MoDOT and I haven't gotten an answer back.
So he just refuses to mow the front part.
He claims he's not allowed to be on it.
He drives up and down Broadway every day.
Yeah.
And so
There was a
this is that.
weed sprayer on today. I thought maybe he was just.
He also for the side of the property
Well, that's one thing next.
is planning to make it as Columbia calls it, a no-mow zone, a natural habitat. So.
We don't have those, do we?
Yeah, that's.
I don't know that Columbia, I mean, we do have natural habitats around there, in the parking lot. So,
Okay.
so he plans
So
on,
he's saying
labeling it as such. So he apparently had an issue whenever they were doing Broadway and they put the roundabout in, Charlie, please. When they put the roundabout in, they, put a new driveway in, they put a driveway in on the side of his property, which he was not okay with the way they did it, as the public works director is aware. And, so I'm sure some conversations ensued, someone probably got heated with MoDOT. And it wouldn't surprise me if someone from MoDOT said, please stay off of our right of way and don't touch it, so. So that's really all I have.
So the butterfly flower bed,
Serious.
I mean, we can't allow that right there. I mean, is that possible?
Got one right next door.
Yeah, but I mean, how was that developed? I mean, that had to go through some hoops and stuff like that to do this. No?
It's landscaping.
It's the difference between native plantings and weeds. I mean, we have multiple lots in town. Darren dealt with one last year that has 12-foot tall sunflowers all over the lot.
Correct.
Yeah, it's I know where you're at.
And that is not allowed or allowed?
It's allowed.
It's loud. Neighbors complained about it,
Yeah,
but
the neighbors do.
said it was a butterfly garden.
Pollinators on.
Sunflowers are native plants?
Well, they said it was a butterfly garden, not necessarily a natural habitat.
Well, the library calls theirs a natural habitat, don't
I think it depends. I mean, like, we raised a big old stink about the one in Columbia because it was in the median. And it was literally like blocking people's view, like it was a safety thing, so.
Yes.
That'd be our only recourse for Charlie is if he's putting it in the front yard and it's blocking
Yeah.
that
Well, I mean,
intersection.
Is he putting it in the front or on the
But it's
side?
Side on Casey's
The
side.
side,
On Casey,
the hillside.
okay,
No, the hillside specifically.
yeah, the hillside. I'm gonna say it's kind of tall.
It is absolutely kind of tall. Now, don't be surprised if he goes ahead and mows it sometime, causes traffic chaos, but.
More to follow.
But on the MoDOT issue though, I mean, that's getting kind of tall too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
he? He likes you, dude. He's
You guys
talked to
right
us.
there.
You should probably talk to
You
us.
guys right there.
I talk to
He's
Charlie
relevant.
all the time.
Darren will continue to explore resolution before we start the abatement process.
Okay. How we're doing pretty good
Correct.
on permits? Housing permits, everything,
Permits,
we're on par for last year.
they're about as expected, yes. Might see a bump tomorrow. Yeah, there'll be a few more tomorrow that come after Forest Park being released. Any other questions?
All right, moving on to Alderman's report. Alderman Lewis?
Just want to thank the staff for not asking for a new car tonight.
Yeah.
Seems like we passed out a few in the past.
Miss Shelley.
Oh, Shelley.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Treasure report, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I won't bore you with anything. I'll let you digest the Charlie Clayton stuff. If you have any questions, please ask. That's okay.
Now, moving on, Alderman Lewis, all right.
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Alderman Bell?
We were talking about last meeting about some public works issues type things with our friend on the corner and his weird sewer lids or whatever the heck that was. He, sent me a really nice message and said special thank you for taking care of it. So I guess, haven't heard from him since. We were talking every day there for a bit. So, thanks to our city staff for investigating and getting out there and getting it done. I know he's very pleased, so appreciate the work.
Thank you, sir. Alderman Colbert? And Alderman Ravenscraft.
No report.
All right, open up to general comments from the public. See none. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Do I count as a
Oh.
public? When's our 4th of July parade?
On the 4th of July.
We have not received a permit.
But I thought they said on the 4th, right?
Oh, we have.
Just 3 weeks ago, we got paid permit. I don't know. But yeah, we got it.
Is it like 9 AM on the 4th?
Yeah, I should probably remember that. I remember looking and saying, well, I gotta be here that day, and that was all, so I
He
can't,
he will follow up by email.
Okay, I just wanna make sure that's on our radar.
Yeah, no, we got, they submitted it plenty of time, in fact, I've even had one submitted it, someone else emailed me to make sure it'd been submitted, but I've communicated back to them, obviously I've approved it, because I'm not ready to leave yet. And yeah, we good to go.
You can put your trolleys in.
Maybe. Trying to make plans and there's a lot. I know Jeff City moved their parade last year. I don't know when theirs is supposed to be. But anyway. All right.
So we have
Thank
to
you.
call it anymore?
Huh?
You have to call it anymore?
I don't know.
All right, thank you. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.